everybody, and welcome to our Week in Review. This is a video which we take a look at all the videos that we reviewed last week, giving you short clips of each of those. Some people have asked that we put links to all these videos in the description. That would take an extremely long amount of time, and if someone's willing to jump in and help volunteer to do that, we might be able to put that together. But for right now, just because of time length, I can't get that done. But I do hope that you check out some of these great games. Here we go.
Hey folks, welcome back to another Week in Review episode. No longer part of the breakfast. Hey, good to have that information. But anyway, this week I was able to do no less than 5 videos. And one of those was a review of this guy right here, Spector Ops. It's a really neat hidden movement deduction game, kind of like Fury of Dracula Light. Does not have anywhere near the time investment that Fury of Dracula has, but carries with it that same idea of hunters going after one single solitary bad dude. Then I was also able to review this game right here, and that was called Black and White. It's a 2-player confrontational combat simulation game set in a far-off universe, not historical, not anything even really of this world, just a really neat, cool theme, great artwork, good mechanics, not bad. So go ahead and check that out if you have the chance. Then I also did a comparison video of Heroes of Normandie and Memoir 44, where I compared and contrasted those two games, and hopefully it will help you narrow down which game might be more down your alley, so check that out. Then I was also able to do 2 videos with the help of Rob Oren for our Battling Brushes series. We are tackling this game right here, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, this month, and I'm already kind of halfway done with my set of the army, so Rob is starting to catch up. He did the Blood Reavers this week, and then the second video that we posted for Battling Brushes was actually not a painting video. It was what we called a combat tutorial, where Rob and I, a little bit, mostly Rob, are going through the basic rules to understand how the game is played, and then we'll have another episode of that coming up later on this week. So that's my 5 videos for this week. See you on the flip side.
Hey everybody, 2 reviews for you this week. First one is Space Cadets Away Missions. Sort of a dungeon crawl, sort of a pure co-op. It does a good job of sort of straddling that line. Lots of replay value, comes with tons of scenarios, very fun, very good mechanics, and lots of cool fun theme. Last one is Bomb Squad. Love this game. Very unique game. It's a real-time sort of Hanabi-esque game. It's not for everybody, but I am in love with it. And if you haven't heard of it or checked it out, definitely check out the review. Very interesting. You got to give it a shot. Okay, see some of you at BGGCon. Bye.
Hey everybody, Z Garcia here. Last week I reviewed 2 games. I reviewed Versus System 2 PCG, which is a new version of the Versus System collectible card game. And they've taken the game, they've simplified it, they've made it one packaged, one box, and it's a nicer entry point if you're looking for something very simple with a nice Marvel theme to it, but it's lost quite a bit in the simplification, and so I wasn't really a big fan of it. The other game I reviewed is Samara, a straightforward, clever, but a little bit fiddly Euro game that has some interesting twists and turns. You know, the turns are very quick, and my one complaint really is that it was a little fiddly to handle everything. I wish the components would have been a little better thought out. But the game is looks cute, it's clever, works well, it's got a really nice time management mechanism to it, so I do recommend that one, Samara. And so that's it for me, Versus System 2 PCG and Samara. I'll see you next time.
Hey now peeps, my name is Nick from Board Game Brawl. You can check me out at youtube.com/BoardGameBrawl. I reviewed a bunch of games on my channel last week. First up is Pirates of the Seven Seas from IDW. It's got great visuals. I like the idea of it, chucking dice and using them as ships, but it's way too random, it's a bit too long, and there's too many unnecessary systems to it. Fire and Axe is also from IDW. This is a reprint of a much older game. I like the visuals on this one too, and there's a lot of great Euro game set collection elements to it, but it's way too long. The theme is a bit too dry, and it's also way too random for being so long. Cash and Guns and More Cash and Guns, the second edition of each of these. I finally got around to them. Great party game. There's nothing like pulling a gun on your friends and demanding that they lay down and give you their loot or stand out of the way of you getting their loot. Then we have the Marcy case, which is the first expansion for Time Stories. I did a totally spoiler review of both that and the storyline of Asylum, which was the first mission in the base game. Only watch that video if you've already played through both of those and you just want to know my thoughts and sort of break it down with me in the comments. I really had fun making that video. And then finally, the third edition of Runebound from Fantasy Flight Games. I never played the previous editions. I really like this one. It's total Ameritrash randomness, but it's very fun to level up your characters and go on adventures. This is the game the Witcher adventure game wishes it could be. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.
Hey there, YouTube. I'm Forrest Bowers Game Corner, and this is my week in review. First game I checked out was Cosmic Wimpout. This is an old-school push-your-luck dice game. It's got some cool mechanics where you won't be able to stop when you want to stop, and it's aged pretty well. Currently out of print, not really worth searching down, but if you stumble upon it, not a bad game. Next I checked out Escape the Nightmare, currently on Kickstarter. At its core, this is a simple set collection cooperative trading game where you're going to be trading cards back and forth, and when you receive a card, it's going to have an action or a restriction that you must deal with. It has a very dark and gruesome theme of trying to escape a nightmare, very dark and gruesome artwork. If you can get past that, this game is outstanding. It has an amazing sense of tension, easy to learn, easy to teach, accommodates up to 8, incredibly variable, and over the 100 plus Kickstarter prototypes I've received, easily my top 5. Highly recommended. Next, I checked out The Hobbit, The Defeat of Smaug. This is another old school game. You're going to be competing as hobbits, trying to go up to the mountain and steal Smaug's gems, go on adventures. It's a family weight game, and it has not aged too well. It's got roll and move mechanics, some other things that I didn't really like, but if you have family gamers who really enjoy The Hobbit, I think they'll get a kick out of this one. Nice components, too. Last, I checked out Accentuate, the Film Quotes expansion pack. This is a small box expansion to Accentuate, a party game I really enjoyed, and this replaces the old quotes, which were very bland, and puts in film quotes, and even adds a new way to score points, which is awesome, where you can guess the movie and also guess the year that the movie came out. Highly recommended. Only cons I have with this, I wish there were more quotes, and you can't fit all the quotes into the expansion box. This has been my week in review. Enjoy what I do. Check out this!
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Last week I reviewed The Tower, which is really a children's dexterity game where there's this huge tower and you're sticking your fingers in there in a dark place with dark monsters and you're trying to push them all the way down to the bottom. It's fine for kids. Adults probably won't play this with each other, except maybe once for fun. Burgle Bros is a cooperative game where you are trying to do a 3-story bank heist. It's very thematic, the mechanics are sound, but in the end it didn't really blow me away. Cosmic Run is a dice manipulation and dice press your luck game made by the designer of Biblios and his son, and it's a good press your luck game. It has a space theme and you're getting alien race powers to help manipulate the dice. Bomb Squad is an amazing cooperative game where you're trying to defuse bombs under time crunch. Think Hanabi meets Escape of the Curse of the Temple meets Robo Rally. You're either going to love or hate this one, and I loved it. Mafia de Cuba is a social deduction game. This is a very crowded genre right now, but this one stands on its own and really does thematics great, where you're opening up the cigar box, trying to figure out who stole the gems, who's on your side, who's not. Excellent social deduction game. That's the best of the week for me. That's Mafia de Cuba.
For me, we have Hengist, which is a 2-player Uwe Rosenberg game by Lookout Games, which sounds like a great combination, but in reality, you're simply just playing cards to see what happens. A pretty awful game. Bamboleo, which is a game which you take a plate and you're balancing it on top of a ball and trying to pull pieces off without it falling over. Sounds great. The whole thing's too fragile, falls over all the time. Sushi Dice, you're rolling dice as quickly as you possibly can, trying to find matches, and at the same time you can make your opponent re-roll their dice all the time so the game goes on too long for what it is. Crazy Bullets is a game where you flip a card over and then slap the table. That sounds interesting, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. This game just takes that to a little bit too long and overdrawn. Then we have Hamsterrolle. This is a very fun dexterity game, which is this wheel which is rolling along the table. You're trying to get all your pieces onto the wheel, and anytime pieces fall off, when as it rolls, you get them. So you're trying to get rid of yours first. 504. This is the biggest review I did last week. A huge system of games. It works like a charm. The whole thing is well designed. It's brilliant, and most of the games are okay or good. Then we have Banana Matcho. This is a game in which you are rolling dice as quickly as you can. This is kind of like the Sushi Go game, except this one is actually fun. Even it is certainly geared towards kids as you try to make monkeys climb a tree. Then we have Roar. This is a game in which one person's a monster, the other players are scientists trying to catch that monster, and it's done. One person's using an electronic device, looking at the thing, hidden. It's really cool. Unfortunately, it's too easy and only works with kids. RevoltAAA, where rubber duckies fight robots. This is a kind of a trick-taking style game in which you want to play the lowest number of the group of colors that is the highest amount. It's kind of a weird thing watching my review to see how the whole thing works. Then we have, let's see, next is Skyliners. Skyliners is a game which you're building skyscrapers and trying to have them look a certain height as towards you, kind of a perspective-based skyscraper building game. That one's pretty fun. We have Inhabit the Earth, which is a game in which you're trying to make your animals be the best, the most evolved in different areas, kind of a race game. Not so much direct confrontation, but more of a race to get to the top. Then we have Simurgh, which is another worker placement game where you're trying to use dragon riders and humans as you get lots of resources. It's really cool, really good game, hampered by substandard components and just maybe a little too much places to put things. Then we have Colt Express Expansion, Horses and Stagecoach. It adds horses, it adds a stagecoach. It makes the game slightly more complex, but barely enough. If you like Colt Express, you will love this. I know that I did. And then we have Above and Below. Above and Below is a game in which you're kind of, there's going on adventures. There's like a storytelling aspect to it where you make decisions, but it's also a very solid game behind that with workers and building different buildings that will give you points. And then finally, Time Stories. Time Stories is amazing. It is a one-time use game, although you can buy scenarios and play them over again. And I'm already started the second scenario, and again, it just... I have not played a game that gave me experiences as good as this one. I am in love with Time Stories. A lot of fun. Folks, that's our week in review. I hope that you have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.